This is Big Business with Sarah, the podcast for entrepreneurs who want to continue building their business and understand you should never stop learning. Gratitude and looking back. And I really like this episode because I really think, this has been really a life-changing tool for me, actually, to work actively on my gratitude. And I've been talking about this in my podcast quite often. But I was thinking, it's almost the end of the year. And I think that it's a nice moment to start doing it too. And if you're doing it already, maybe you can pick some things, from my brain that really help you to get more into gratitude. And, one of the things that I want to start with is what is gratitude? So, of course, it is being grateful for what you have. And it helps you to create your business and build your business and rebuild your business from a more relaxed position. That is what it has done to me. And, what is gratitude? It's really about, looking at what you have in your life or what is possible in your life or in life. And what it does for you is that it makes it able for you to not be chasing anymore. So not chasing dreams, chasing clients, or chasing, a lifestyle that is out of your reach, but actually attracting it. And I think there's always really a misconception on, thinking about the universe in a certain way, or meditation, or abundance, or all those ways, or manifestation, because, there's such an idea that there is a reality in life, but actually I believe there are multiple realities. I think that there's many, many ways on how to live your life. And, because I always thought that there was just one reality. So, watching the news, going to school, doing everything that everyone is doing, looking at certain talk shows and talk about that. Yes, that's very interesting and I like to participate. But I know right now that it's not the only way. And it's not the only belief system that is out there or should be out there. So one of the things, I think gratitude, it also comes from the idea of abundance. And this is something that I have embraced fully in my business. And by thinking from an abundance mindset, it's very easy to actually let your business run very smoothly. So there's one client I'm currently coaching in making a profitable business model. And we're looking at all possible ways, and I'm noticing, and this is no judgment at all, I'm not going to talk about who it is because, it doesn't help anyone. But thinking from a scarcity point, so thinking, I really should be doing this perfectly right from the start. I should set my prices right from the start perfectly. And yes, of course, you have to do things in a nice way. You want to attract people. Of course, you want it to look good and you want it to make sense. But allow yourself to make mistakes and allow yourself that there is more opportunities out there. I remember when I was young, I was always thinking, this is my one chance. This is the only chance I have of having a successful life. No, it isn't. There is a thousand opportunities. And I know that this doesn't go for everyone. And I know also, because I am living in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, I know that I have way more opportunities than many people in the world. But I really believe, and if you want to know more about this, you can listen to episode 24. My Radical Responsibility podcast episode is the most popular so far. If you want to, if you're thinking, there's only limited possibilities for me, then you can do that, but it's not true. Most of the time, it's not true. So yes, for some people, it applies that there is no possibilities, and I want to help people, be able to do that. But in the meantime, I want to help you realize that there is actually so much out there. why is it important to embrace gratitude? So, for instance, I was, one of the personal experiences I've had, but also from my clients, is that, if you're comparing yourself to others, or, looking what other people, for instance, make, or everything in life is so relative, it actually helps you become a better person, because you realize that there are so many ways on how to. I'm sorry, it sounds a little bit like I'm repeating myself the whole time, because I so strongly believe in this concept, but actually to realize what you have and to be very grateful for it. Because if you're starting from there, it's going to be much easier to get more of that. So what does it help? It can help you in your money mindset. It can help you being more happy with what you have. It can help you appreciate the people around you. And the thing what is so interesting is about this is that it could be, for instance, so I think 10 years ago, I did my first mindfulness course. I followed my first mindfulness course. And I was a little bit annoyed by the idea that, I had to live in the moment. And if you've listened to my previous episode on productivity, and it's actually more about goal setting, really, you know that I really like to make plans and actually not live in the moment, but live in the future and make plans for that, and then make the moment more interesting, because that's what I want. But actually, with that gratitude exercise, you can actually still long for more. You can just be very happy with what you have. And this could also be your health, right? So it doesn't have to be the money on your bank account. But so actually, to the contrary, I have experienced that setting those goals from a gratitude point of view so much more fun is than, from a scarcity point of view. So for example, if you don't have a lot of money, or if your money is really running out, it's much more difficult reaching your goals than if you're thinking, my money is running out, but I still have money. I'm going to enjoy it. And from that perspective, are you going to sell, for instance? And so now you might ask, Sarah, how do I work on gratitude? There's multiple ways on how to do this. And, the thing that I'm doing is I journal. So I am writing down 3 things that I'm grateful for every morning. Well, not every morning. I'm a human being. Sometimes I forget, or I don't want to. But there's also other things how you can do this. So there's an exercise called arigato, which means thank you in Japanese. And it's, you can write this. I created a note in my telephone. I did this for a couple of months, but it wasn't really my exercise, but I want to share it with you as well. Maybe it works better for you than, the 3 things that you're grateful for every morning. So the arigato exercise is that you're going to write down 5 things during the day. That's why it's handier to have it on your telephone, on your handy, if you're German. So on your telephone. And so write down little things that so this could be a smile from someone at the supermarket. So today I was coming from a meeting, and then I was cycling home, and there was actually it was a boy, a teenage boy, running to catch the tram, and he lost his phone. I mean, it was incredible. He had a bumper, around his phone, and I was thinking, I should also have that too, because imagine, my beautiful phone would be destroyed. Anyway, and there was another man, he was saying, hey, you forgot your phone. And the little boy didn't hear. He was just running for his tram. And then actually this man, put down his coffee cup and ran to the little boy, and he gave his phone, and, all was well. And I was waiting, at that coffee, and I was saying, what, great job. I took care of your coffee. This is not, by the way, to brag about what a good person I am. You might think that. I'm sorry. This is not why I wanted to tell this story. But I just wanted to have a little interaction with the man that I thought was amazing that he ran to that boy and that he did that. And I was very happy and I'm grateful for that little interaction. And if I wouldn't be, as grounded as, because I started this for a half year now, normally I wouldn't care. I would just, cycle, and I would think, what? Yeah, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It will work out. But actually, now I was way more committed to the outcome, and that was so nice. So please don't remember my standpoint, but just remember that if you see someone losing something and then running for it, is so great. And I was so happy to be a part of that, even though I was just watching the coffee and looking around. Bad example. So that could be something that could be in your arigato journal, but it could be also a smile from someone, or maybe a lovely conversation you had with your neighbors. Very small things, actually. And I believe that when you're kind of, processing or programming your mind like that, to when you're writing that down, you're kind of also attracting for it, because you're noticing it. You're seeing little things, and you also notice other interactions between other people, and it's just it's very nice, actually. It's a very nice soft skill, actually. And then there's also this book that I'm reading. Well, I kind of quit reading it because it had a lot of exercise and had to do a lot of things. And I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to do this in January. I'm going to wait with it. But it's called The Magic. And actually, you have to write down 10 things you're grateful for. And you have to say them out loud. I haven't tried it yet. And this podcast is really about all the things that I've tried and worked, and which worked also. So I think I it's a 30-day exercise, I think, in that book, and I only managed to get into day 4 because I had to do many things and I didn't want to do that yet, but I am going to do it. So maybe you want to buy the book as well. So actually, because it's the end of the year, actually, and we're almost there, and it's so strange. Every year I'm trying, for instance, in October, I'm trying to think, don't be too sentimental at the end of the year. Try to look cool, and but I mean, there we go. It's really a time to look back and look forward. So last week's episode was very much to look forwards. And now I want to give you a little end of year exercise, and I want to ask you what you're grateful for this year. That's the first question. And the second one is what really helps you and who really helps you also. And make a little plan to thank them. Maybe write them a Christmas card or give them a little gift, or maybe call them and say thank you, for the past year. And then a nice and exciting exercise, which is also a little bit in line with last week's episode, is what is something that you want to be grateful for next year. And I really like this exercise. I haven't done this yet, but I wrote it down, to talk to you today about, because I always have to write things down, because if I would just ramble. I won't do that to you. So what is something that you want to be grateful for next year? Is that business-wise? Is that friendship-wise? Maybe there are some friendships that really need some more attention. And I know that I have spent some special attention to a few friendships of mine, and it's really paying off. And it's so incredible. And I want to do more of that next year. And I haven't done this exercise yet, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm seeing, currently in the Netherlands, there is, and I think that's in most countries actually currently, there's so much insecurity on inflation and a possible recession, and it's so difficult for many families. And as you might know, I'm coming from a family raised only by my mother, and she was financially it was very challenging for her. So I know exactly what it's like to be a child growing up, in a family where there is not automatically a lot of money. So I want to do something with that at the end of next year. So, I'm not going to do, yes, I am going to give some to charity this year, but I actually really kind of want to make a plan for that because, I feel that, coming, with my roots, my roots coming from that kind of family, I want to do something for other people as well. I don't know yet how. I'm going to make a little plan for that. It's going to be in one of my yearly goals. But yeah, it really feels right for me. And I'm also going to work on this probably for the Big Business, Big Life workshop, which is coming end of January, sorry. Where I'm helping other people, but I'm also doing it for myself. You can join too. It's only 49 euros. It's a 3-day workshop where you can make your plans for the upcoming year. And it's always a very fun workshop. So maybe you're thinking, is this business advice? Sarah, it's big business with Sarah, right? It's not big abundance with Sarah. No, that's true. And I think it's really the best business advice I can give you. Be happy with what you have and more will come to you. I strongly believe this. I'm living proof because I did actually. I didn't even spoke about this, by the way, in this episode, but I really, really did get so much more once I was more grateful for what I was doing. And, my exercise of gratitude was about that I was able to do this work, this coaching work that I'm doing. I'm really doing what I'm loving. And, just being able to record this podcast and just publish it and for other people to listen to it is still a dream come true. And I'm grateful for this every day. And it has really changed the way that I'm thinking about life and business. And it will also allow you to stop I have so much difficulty with this word. It will also help you to stop chasing and start attracting. And that's so important for business. So instead of being a very aggressive marketer or a salesperson, you can just be an incredible personal brand, an incredible person that everybody wants to work with. And that's so much more attractive. So ways to work with me are, so now it's half December, so you can apply for a 3-week intensive, which runs in January. I'm not going to work anymore in December. And then, yes, the Big Business Mastermind opens again at February 7th. And already a few people stepped in the Black Friday launch. And I'm very happy about that. But there's still some spots left. So you can put your name on the wait list if you're very interested in working on your business for 3 months. And also the podcast is changing. This is almost the last one. Next week's episode is going to be very exciting. I'm not going to share yet what it's going to be, but it's going to be very nice. And then from January 5th on, the format will be totally different. And I cannot wait to share. I'm not going to do it yet, but yeah, it's going to be very, very good. All right. Thank you so much for listening and see you next week.